Tonight's the night. I am not op. Original post by you, Careless Impress 169 in R. Shrooms. An NBSP. Tonight's the night. The 22nd of August 31. Anyone who is super active might have seen my other posts about taking between 20 and 28 grams. Dried. Of Golden Teacher. I've been talking about this one ever since I contacted my source and made arrangements to get these. I've been preparing myself physically and mentally by eating healthy, working out, and today I'm fasting for 12 hours before I dose. I have heavily taken into consideration all the factors and have decided to drink a ginger tea along with my dose as to not get nauseous. I could tell you in mentally prepared, but I would be lying. Nobody can truly be mentally prepared for this type of trip. It's just simply impossible to be anything but hopeful and to put your trust that the experience will guide you. I am dosing exactly 3.5 hours from the time I am posting this, and I will be following in Terrence McKenna's footsteps by lying on my bed in a completely dark room with my phone turned off and no music to have a true non-influenced mushroom experience. I will be taking 20 grams to start, and right before the trip starts I will take the other 8 grams. Assuming my stomach hasn't turned yet. And I will take a final sip of my favorite tea before entering the abyss. The amount of outcomes of this trip are seemingly endless. I have a couple theories on how it could go, but I will approach it with no expectations except for my desire to beat my depression once it's all said and done. Thank you all for the information I've been given and the amazing support you've given me in this journey I am taking. Much love to you all. Heart, be happy, folded hands, beloved folded hands. An NBSP update on the 15-year-old who took 2,028 grams the 9th of April 22 by you, Get Brightbox. Update on the 15-year-old who took 2,028 grams. For those who don't know, here is the post. This is in reference to https reddit.com/r/shrooms/comments/xtootheknightsthenight/TLDR. A 15-year-old decided he was going to take 2,028 grams after tripping twice. He wanted to cure his depression. Many people warned him this was a bad idea. He disappeared, stopped commenting and posting, so I was worried about him. I was able to get in touch with him on Snapchat. The trip did not go well. Here is what I know. He ended up taking 23 grams. He had a seizure but survived it. His parents found him in a state of severe psychosis. He was blacked out at the time. Since that trip he has lost 13 pounds. He now wakes up in the middle of the night with cold sweats so bad his bed is soaked. He was grateful I checked in on him, but he doesn't really want to talk about the trip. He said it was okay to update Reddit. I feel really bad for him. I did a lot of really dumb stuff when I was 15. Anyway, let this be a warning to people. Mushrooms are not harmless and heroic doses should be approached gradually and with caution. Insane doses, like the one he took, should probably not be attempted by most if you are young. Let your brain develop before messing with its chemistry. Be safe. Be careful. An NBSP. Reminder: I am not the original poster. I'm reading through the comments on his original post, and was struck by this. I would only go into a trip with someone who is either very experienced or I would go in as their sitter. Most people I know haven't done as many psychedelics as me, so I wouldn't trust any of them to have good vibes for the whole trip and also watch me appropriately. 15 years old and he's already calling himself experienced and setting himself up as a trip sitter. Yeah, this kid has no respect for psychedelics and was always heading for a fall. I hope this hasn't done him too much harm and he'll come out of it with a sensible amount of caution. Teenagers and their belief in their own invincibility. Well, some teenagers anyway. On another note, tonight's the night, always. Unfailingly reminds me of Dexter. A quick glance through his history is chilling. He talks about having a big ego. And a concerning post about dating a 12-year-old. It's all very unsettling. For what it's worth, Terence McKenna describes a heroic dose as 5 grams in silent darkness, and that was for adults. This 15-year-old kid took 46 times as much as recommended for a heroic dose 2 days after his girlfriend broke up with him. This was only a week ago though. So hopefully he'll get help and get sorted. It will be interesting to see if there are future updates. I knew kids like this when I was in high school. I can tell you most of them did not turn out well with this heavy level of drug experimentation. A couple are permanently mentally impaired. A couple are dead. I know maybe one who's somewhat functioning. I hope this kid pulls through the damage he's done to himself and stops there. Wow, WTF. I took 5 grams once as a 23-year-old and I almost pissed myself during the trip. This dude really overstepped equals. Hope they are okay. Bro, 28 grams? Man's lucky he's still entirely within the observable universe. Poor kid. Thank God I didn't have access to drugs when I was his age. As I parent this post, update terrifies TF out of me. I hope he is getting the help he so desperately needs. For the stupid stuff he did. I'd like to think update Oop wasn't sexually abusing a 12-year-old girl. I wouldn't feel bad for original Oop. Jesus Christ, I've done my fair share of shrooms, but my max is usually 34 grams over a span of hours. 20 grams down the hatch, then another 8 just sounds like a horrible time. Glad the kid is okay. Know a dude who went into full psychosis after tripping on shrooms. His other friends did the same amount and didn't end up like he did. You just never know. He has never been the same since or back at the level of functioning he was prior to this. I hope this young fellow will be okay. That's a solid dose of yikes right there, people. I mean, on the one hand, I support the research and use of natural substances as treatments for things like depression. But this child is clearly not a doctor or expert of any kind, and what he did was not sane. I don't say it lightly, he probably needs some inpatient treatment. I hope his parents take this seriously. Oh God. This is heartbreaking. XBF took a very small dose when he was a teenager. It was apparently the worst experience of his life. A friend did it too. And she loved it. It's a lottery. But such a high dose was bound to be bad. Haven't people ever heard of safe use JFC? I know a guy who microdoses multiple times a week and a big trip for him is 8 grams. Why in the world did this dumbass ever think 20 plus was a good idea? There's exactly 0 people in history with a tolerance high enough not to break your brain with that much. God, there's absolutely no reason to take that much JFC. I wish he would have listened to Redditors. I don't condone minors' use of shrooms, but for Pete's sake he should have just done 68 grams of he wanted a heroic dose. Oh man. I wish I'd read the original posts. I could have warned him. The first time I did mushrooms, I was at a party. I locked myself in a dark room to lay down because I was feeling nauseous. That dark room trip was the worst. I was terrified to leave my bed. I had to pee so bad but couldn't bring myself to leave the room. So much so that I tried to convince myself it was okay to pee in the corner of the mattress. Before it came to that, my friends pulled me out of there to the living room where the lights were on and the other humans were. What a huge improvement.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.